You have commented that a secret of your success has been your ability to master the English language.
Well, I'd hard to
Do
call
you
it
see
mastery.
this continuing with younger generations of black performers?
No, I don't know. Maybe I'm unnecessarily frightened, but I think there's a feeling. There's too much to me of feeling of anything goes. I don't think anything goes. Nothing that you achieve that is worthwhile is done without hard work. So the fact that something has to have hard work associated with it is to me just a normal event. And I think that I fear that I see that there'll come a time when things that I revere about people and artists, poets, and singers and whatnot, I fear that there'll come a time when it won't make any difference how you speak. It won't make any difference how you sing. I don't know whether that represents too much paranoia on my part or not.
Maybe quality, maybe the lowest common denominator has dropped in so many performances, or even in language, since we're talking about language. Do you think that might be true?
I'm afraid it is. I'm afraid that there may come a time when I wouldn't be ideally suited to play a black man because I don't talk right. Mm-hmm. It's one of the fears I have. People I believe, are so accustomed to needing to see you do things that for them constitute acting, but they don't mean that to me. And I think I started to get over when I renounced all of what I considered to be the nonsense. I mean, acting per se. I got to act as if I'm intelligent. No, I don't. I don't have to do any of that.
So a healthy dose of self-confidence.
Oh, yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
is what you're talking about.
And to actually believe in that. And I found that that's the courage in acting to me. And for black actors especially, because we come up under the notion that everybody knows more than we do. Now, maybe I may be talking to some black actors to whom that is not true. For them, I say, forget about what I said. But I have talked to so many black people and professionals who are afraid more than anything to be themselves.
Yes.
And to draw on their own knowledge of what makes sense. I was talking to an actress one day who shall be nameless for obvious reasons, and we were doing Pearlie. Now, as you know, Pearlie is a down-home piece that is almost self-explanatory. One does not have to be a Shakespeareophile to understand Pearlie. At least that's the way I always see it. But then I remember when I was a kid encountering Shakespeare for the first time. And I read it. The English made sense to me. I kind of figured out, I mean, I'm not saying I was a full-blown scholar. But to be or not to be made sense. To be or not to be. And everything said thereafter is the consequence of one thing or another, of one or the other of those. whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take up arms against the sea of troubles, and by opposing, in them, to die, to sleep. It's, to me, it all made, I didn't know everything I would want to know subsequently, but it was not a foreign language. I just kind of figured, well, this is the way this is spelled. I've seen that. Yeah, well, put this with that in it. And, but that's it all. Yeah, and I find it's the most difficult thing to get people to understand. Use yourself in the piece.
Instead of using what others' perceptions are of you.
Yeah. And I was talking to, I started this by saying I was talking to this actress, and there's a line in the piece that says, you like sweet potato pie, don't you, honey? Yes, I know you do. Yeah. You know, I don't know what's wrong with Pearlie. Ever since he come from up north, he gets back down here and he's just fidgeting all over the place. Now, I said to myself, she was having trouble with the line, you like sweet potato pie, don't you? Now, we were being directed by a young man who was very, very nice, but who had a pink sweater wrapped around his neck as he directed us every day. And what I found was she was giving over to him the entire interpretation of that line. She was afraid she was going to make a mistake. And I said to her, I said, you've been in the business 30 years. You know what this line means, don't you? Yeah, but I don't understand. What are you saying? You don't understand what the line means? Well, I'm not sure. What do you mean you're not sure? What does it say? And I find too often that many black actors are afraid of what they already know. They're afraid, and I feel it's because they remember too well that there was a time when we weren't supposed to know a goddamn thing. And it's ridiculous.